I have never read an Emily Henry book. I know. Crazy. But that changes today. I'm actually surprised that I haven't caved into reading one of her books until now, considering every time I walk into a bookstore, there is an entire table displaying stacks of her beautifully illustrated books. Also, considering that every time I open TikTok, it seems that everyone is gushing over and rating her books on Book Talk. So here's my plan. I'm going to go to the bookstore and grab, drumroll please, Beach Read. I chose this book because it's widely credited with launching Emily Henry into mainstream popularity. She had written several YA books before this, but this book solidified her as a prominent figure in adult romance. So I have high expectations. What expectations exactly? I have no clue. I have really never read a romance before. I've been more of a sci-fi fantasy girly the past few years. But here's the catch. This is a summer romance novel set in a beach town in Michigan. So I have to read this book in 3 different summer-esque locations. With each place I go, I want it to be more and more vacation-y. The first summery spot being my lounge chair, poolside in the backyard. So I am outdoors, I am poolside, I have my book, I have my drink of choice, which is a birthday cake protein shake with the sprinkles. Gotta have the sprinkles, I love those. Oh yeah, that's good. I'm ready to read. Let's go.
I just finished chapter 1 and I am hooked. I'm loving it. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading.
So far, I'm impressed. The way she sets up the stage by describing the smells and the music playing and the noises in the background and the live action happening around the characters completely immerses me as if I'm there myself. Also, I really appreciate the small details that she expertly writes into the scenes, such as chapter 7, where they find themselves in a booth at the donut shop, like he plucked a mangled maple nut donut out and sat back. And I stuffed a donut chunk into my mouth and shook my head. And I dug into a strawberry frosted covered in sprinkles. All these stick in my mind, and they keep me in that donut shop with January and Gus. It is the next morning, and I stayed up way too late reading Beach Read last night. I couldn't put it down. All the quick-witted banter and the fun escapades they go on just had me hooked. I really like this book. This is such a fun read and also gripping because of the subject matter. This is a heartfelt story about learning to trust and love again after grief and heartbreak. I think Emily Henry has done a phenomenal job so far at mixing the lightheartedness and also the hard, deep feelings of the characters together. I think she's done an incredible job. Like, I never get too much of the lightheartedness that I feel like she ignores the hardships that the characters are going through. But I also feel like she doesn't sink down into the mud so much with the hardships that they can't also have a fun, lighthearted night together. I think that's really impressive of Emily Henry, and I think that says a lot of how well done this book is and how great of a writer Emily Henry is. Today I'm going to my second summary location to read, and that is going to be at the beach, a lake beach. It only felt right to also read on a lake, given that this book's setting is in a beach town, and it's perfect because my family and I literally live 10 minutes down the road from a beautiful lake with a huge stretch of sandy beach. I set up my chair and had my book ready to go. I had my drink of choice, which was the limoncello LaCroix with a few drops of fruit punch flavoring. It was the perfect summery drink to cool me down in this crazy heat wave we're having. And I was ready to read. Here we go. Ba 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 de ba ba. One of the reasons, and there are so many reasons, I love this book is how much I empathize with January's insecurities. She's an author who's published a couple of romance books, otherwise known as, quote, women's literature, end quote. Throughout her conversations with Gus, she becomes insecure when comparing their books because she's a woman who writes about women and feels because of that, some people make light of her work or dismiss it. There's some inner turmoil of not being taken as serious of a writer as someone who, say, writes literary fiction. My situation is different, but the feelings of my work being belittled and pushed aside are similar. I see you, January Andrews, and I understand you. Hello again. It is the next day, and for my third and final beach read location, I will be going from this to this. I will be at Oceans of Fun, which is a really nice water park. Try and convince me this is not a perfect spot to lay out in a bathing suit and read a summer romance, because it feels pretty dang perfect. The vibes are vibing. The farther I get into this book, the more I relate to January. I connect with her worries of, I've been so stupid and I'm just a dumb bunny, as she questions the validity of her and Gus's relationship. Because my love language is words of affirmation, when I'm going through self doubt, I need verbal reassurance. So when a friend or a coworker or whoever gets quiet or takes a step back, I have a tendency to conclude that I've done something wrong or that we're not as close as I thought we were. And if I'm not careful, I can start to spiral, which is not good. When in reality, it had nothing to do with January. Or me. It's just that person closing off to process what they're going through, to sit with the heaviness weighing on their shoulders. Literally, Gus is always leaning on something. And Emily Henry covers some heavy topics in this book. She's used the genre of romance as a safe space to talk about heart-wrenching subjects. I'm literally blown away. This is so impressive. What do you get when you put a heartbroken optimist next door to her sexy, quiet, realist academic rival? You get this book. You get this book right here. I finished Beach Read by Emily Henry a couple days ago, and I'm ready to discuss. Before her father's death, and before her seemingly perfect boyfriend dumped her, January believed in happily ever afters. But by the end of the book, she believes in happy for nows. Because life is hard and tragic, unexpected things can happen. But that doesn't negate all of the beauty and love that you have in those beautiful, grand moments. And when you string all of your happy for nows together over a lifetime, they create a happily ever after if you let them. I think the last paragraph in the book sums it up perfectly. It was just another good day, a perfect day. A happy for now so vast and deep that I knew, or rather believed, I didn't have to worry about tomorrow. So, what do I rate this book? Well, it is hard because I haven't read a romance book in a long time, so I don't really have anything to compare it to, but it has been a couple days and I'm still thinking about it, so I know that's a good sign. For now, I'm going to give it a 4.5 stars, but if I continue to think about it in the coming weeks, I will change that to 5 stars. At the beginning of this book, I said I didn't know what to expect, but I definitely didn't expect to love it this much. Emily Henry, you just made me a romance genre girly. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!